The slide that we see contains two conductors having cross-section with different shapes, particularly rectangular and circular section. Let us assume width and breadth of rectangular section is 20 mm and 8 mm respectively, and length of conductor is 5 meters. So to find resistance of conductor, we need to know material of conductor. If we decide to use same conductor with two different materials, copper and aluminum, then we need to know resistivity of these materials. Resistivity of annealed copper is 17.2 milliohms per meter per mm square, and resistivity of aluminum is 26.5 milliohms per meter per mm square. The resistance of copper wire is 0.5375 ohms, and that of aluminum conductor is 0.8281 ohms. Let us consider a round copper wire with 1.5 mm square of cross section and 5 meters of length. This conductor will have 57.33 milliohms of resistance. The aluminum conductor of same dimensions will have 88.33 milliohms of resistance. The results of all these calculations are shown in table on slide. We may observe from this calculation that resistance of conductor rises with reduction in cross section and also rises with high resistivity material. Now let us move our attention towards magnetic circuit. Magnetic circuit is similar in behavior in some sense, but behaves differently in some other aspects. As resistance is directly proportional to length of conductor but inversely proportional to cross section, reluctance of magnetic circuit is also proportional in identical way. The difference in the expression of two parameters is resistance is connected through resistivity of conducting material, but reluctance is connected through permeability of magnetic material. Another point of difference in electric field is confined to only inside the conducting material, but some very few magnetic lines of flux complete their path through air or from outside the magnetic circuit. Now let us consider a magnetic circuit shown on slide. This magnetic circuit has some part consisting of iron path, but some part is of air also. These two parts constitutes two elements of magnetic circuit which are connected in series. We have to calculate reluctance of these elements separately and add them to get total reluctance of magnetic circuit. We see on slide that reluctance of magnetic path is much smaller than reluctance of air path, although air path length is much smaller than iron path length. This composition shows that iron path has much larger permeability in comparison with air path. If we see ratio of these two reluctances, then it comes out to be 419, although iron length is 239 times air gap length. In conclusion, we may say that iron path allows us to focus magnetic field in some part of space with negligibly small expenditure of ampere turns or mmf in iron part. As it is written on slide, mmf is expressed in field strength H, and it is measured in ampere turns per meter, and flux density B in Webers per square meter. These two parameters are generally used to know how relative permeability of magnetic material that is used for magnetic circuit could be expressed. One more aspect of this magnetic circuit is out of total ampere turns applied using coil is 15,950 ampere turns. Out of these ampere turns, 15,916 ampere turns are used for air gap, and remaining 38 ampere turns are used for iron path. This calculation shows 99.79% of the total ampere turns are used to magnetize air gap, and only 0.21% ampere turns are used for iron path. This calculation further suggests us that we could produce strong magnetic field using minimum air gap and with less turns and less conducting material.